All right, today we are going to be working on a Zentangle Hand project. So this is kind of fun to do. Basically, the basic steps are you trace your hand and then you just have fun with different patterns. You do not have to use the same patterns that I'm using today. You can find all kinds of patterns. You can make patterns up on your own. That's what's fun about this is it's very fluid and it's not restrictive. The only parameter is tracing your hand, and then in one of the spaces you're going to do color Zentangles, and then in the other space you're going to do black and white Zentangles. So today I'm using just a spiral sketchbook. You can use a plain sheet of paper or whatever you have on hand, a pencil, and then I'm using these super tip washable markers by Crayola for today's demo, but you can use Sharpie, you can use colored pencil, whatever works for you. But I do suggest doing everything in pencil first, just real light, so that if you're not happy with something, you don't have to commit to it and you can erase. That's the wonderful thing about a pencil, is we can erase our mistakes as if we never made them and just go on with life. So that's what I'll be using for today. So it's very simple: supply list, paper, pencil, and then some type of colored medium. So that could be washable markers, that could be Sharpies, that could be alcohol markers, or any type of art markers that you want to use, or it could be colored pencils. It might be a little difficult to use crayons just because of how they flake and stuff. You may not be able to get some of your crisp lines that you're wanting to get. But other than that, it's pretty open what you can use. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first step is you are going to trace your hand. So depending on how big your paper is, just depends on how you want your placement. So I know some people like to, they'll do their hand down here. I want to have a little bit more balance in there. So I'm going to actually put my hand a little bit further up. I'm just going to use my pencil. I'm going to trace. Oops. Okay, then because I did it in pencil, I can go in and kind of clean up some places that I'm not too happy with, where maybe I hit a bump or like this hit my rings, so I can clean that up. And kind of straighten those lines up a little bit. Then we'll be ready for the next step. Okay, so when you are happy with the outline of your hand, you can take a black marker, whether it's a Sharpie or a washable marker or something like that. So you can take your black marker. So I'm going to be using this one, and go over that line you just created. And again, you do not have to use these same markers. You can use any kind of medium for this. So I've seen this done with like Sharpies and done really well. I've seen it done with more of your like art type markers and turn out really crisp and cool looking. Okay, so we have traced our hand. So the next step is going to be establishing your Zentangles. So Zentangle is just a fun pattern that you can do. So for this process, there's two methods you can do for this. One is to take like a straight edge, like a ruler or something like that, and you actually like lay it down, and you would like lay it down, and then you would, with your pencil, you would draw lines like in different directions, okay? And you would do that like with like a ruler or something like that. The other method, so it just depends on if you want a more like straight edge lines for your Zentangle sections, or if you want more organic. So if you want more geometric or more organic, that determines how you lay out your line. For me, for this one, I'm gonna go with a more organic layout. And so what I'm gonna do is I am literally just going to like scribble. Like that's all I'm doing, is I'm just having fun, and I am scribbling like different lines in different directions. Okay. And we think, oh, that looks crazy, and that is okay. If this drives you like crazy and you're like, that is not my cup of tea, that's fine. You can do your more straight lines, okay? But I just am feeling like I need just some free-flowing organic lines today. That's how I feel. So that's what I'm going with. Okay, and when you're happy, you're gonna have all these lines laid out, okay? So the next step is within each of these sections, you're gonna start creating patterns. And those patterns can be anything. You can do polka dots, you can do all kinds of fun things, and it's totally up to you and your mind and you know how you feel about it and all that kind of stuff. So the way you can do this next step is, if you're a little nervous about starting out with Zentangles, you can use your pencil to lay them out. Or if you are like, I'm good with this, you can go ahead and start using your markers. Now, to keep in mind, one area needs to be black and white. So you can choose, do you want your outside area to be black and white, and you want the hand to be where the emphasis is and the focal point, and you want that to be colorful, or do you want outside of the hand to be colorful? Okay, so that's your choice. I'm gonna do my outside of my hand in black and white, and I'm gonna pencil that in. When I do the color, I'm actually not going to use the pencil because I just want to have that color for the pattern. Okay, so I will say I'm a little nervous about starting out with these patterns. So I'm just going to start out in pencil. And I'm just going to start sketching in my patterns. And you can just have fun with these. There is no set way to do these. as you can see, we are finished with the black and white part. Now, this might be a good time to, stretch your hand out or something. I know my hand's a little like cramped feeling. So you don't have to do this all in one sitting. This can be something that while you're watching TV or, your favorite show or whatever, you can be like doing little sections of this and doodling while you're, watching something or listening to music. So now we're going to move on to color. So in the inside sections of this, we are going to do patterns, like we've done out here, but they don't have to be the same patterns. But we're going to do patterns like we've done out here in color. So each of your little areas, you're going to want, to have different colors. You don't want like the same color next to each other. Just pull those out so I can access them a little bit easier. So, say I'm going to do blue, and I'm going to start down here, and I'm just going to do some spirals. So I'm just going to start with my colors and have fun. right, so this is the finished product. This is, kind of what it should look like when it's finished. Obviously, no one's is going to look the same. No two look the same. It looks different every time I have done this. I've done this in classes in the past, and it always turns out different. It depends on, if I'm using a guide of patterns that I'm going off of, or if I'm just, doing what pops in my head. Today, I kind of just went off the cuff and just did, whatever came to my head. And you have the option of doing the color inside of the hand or outside of the hand. You just need to do the opposite. So if you choose to do the color on the outside, inside the hand needs to be black and white, and vice versa. So I personally wanted to do the color on the inside because it's less space. If you look, there's a lot more space for the black and white. And I didn't want to, run out of, marker colors or, anything like that. So I chose to do my colors on the inside and then do the bigger space in black and white. If you did notice, I did at one point change up, and I used a really fine point for some of the designs because the washable marker point was kind of getting dull and it just wasn't working for me. So I did in a few places where I needed to do some smaller patterns, like the basket weave and some of these like spirals that you see up here and stuff. I did switch to this fine point just because I found it was a little bit easier to work with for those things. You can use markers like this. They come in all kinds of colors. So you can see they come in all these different colors. So those are an option too if you would prefer to use, these are more like a pen, but if you would prefer that, that is completely okay. If I was doing this another time, I probably would have done that too. So it's completely up to you. And whatever patterns you want to use, you may use some of the provided patterns, and or you can just come up with stuff on your own like I did today. But there you have it. There is your Zentangle Hand demo for this week. As always, please drop any questions you may have. Feel free to contact me or comment if you have any questions or you want to know how something was done or so forth. I am available, so just let me know.